I came across. Are you guys ready for this? What are we doing as a society where we really need bros out here? A pumpkin spice latte butt crack. What is happening? I took a picture because I could not believe it. Rod, I can't make it to the party this weekend. Why is that, Josh? I ran out of my pumpkin spice latte dude wipes. My ass crack isn't fresh enough to go to this party. I can't. What is going on? Pumpkin spice latte dude wipes? Please make it make sense.
Hello and welcome. I am fired up. It is my favorite time of the week. I get to broadcast live / podcast with my guys. Hello, good evening. My name is Rod Morgan. I will serve as the host here. Thank you if you are joining us live on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch right now. We absolutely appreciate you. We also appreciate you checking us out at your leisure. Just make sure you give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, whatever way you are listening or watching to us. We greatly appreciate it. Oh man, I know appreciates it because he's in the mines, creating the content, banging out the episodes for us. He's our executive producer and a host, which you will see for the second half of this show. His name is James Thomas Chamriska. Jimmy Jam, hello.
Well, Rod, we had a good run. Football is not my favorite anymore, but that's okay. We have another shot at it this week. Hopefully I'll be able to sleep on Sunday now. Who knows?
I was a little worried about how angry you might be vis-a-vis on your love for football based on my Survivor pick last week, but we will get to that. A man I know loves nothing more than attacking my fandom and how it wanes and waxes and goes from one place to the other is our old man, my friend, Chris King. Chris, hello.
Yeah, Chris is so excited he forgot to unmute himself, which is great.
Yeah, that's crazy because I am. If this is your first time listening, people, I usually trash on Rod for dumping on the Colts to start rooting for the Bears, which has backfired miserably for him. But I want to turn my attention to a sport that Rod has turned his back on and talk about baseball. Just real quick, Rod, I know. But listen, if I were to tell you there was a kid who threw 12 strikeouts in a World Series game and he's going to be eligible for Rookie of the Year next year, would you be surprised? Because that's what's happening. Baseball has been fantastic. I know you're a little bit involved because you mentioned in our dark text about Shohei Ohtani and you're becoming a fan. So people need to be paying attention to baseball. It's been some fantastic postseason play, and the World Series has been great.
Listen, to be honest, I will admit to this before I bring in the fourth member of our show. I've got a 3 TV setup down here in the studio, and the third TV that I can only get local channels on has been tuned to Fox the last 3 nights for the baseball, and that was some serious pitching by that guy last night. I'll tell you, I didn't have the audio
He's savage.
up, but every time I was looking, he was dealing to somebody, so shout out to that guy. And our fourth member, the man who loves the World Series, he loves football. He loves all sports. He loves college sports. He's our sports handicapper. He's Josh Williams. Josh, hello.
What's up, boys? Just cannot get a 2-0 ATS record underneath me. I just can't do it. We actually went contrarian, and the Jets actually got a win for Jimmy in the wins league. They covered the 6.5. Aaron Glenn actually made a smart decision going for 2 down by 14. Analytically wise, I couldn't believe that. And then they actually got it. And then so like all we needed is the ultimate. What's the number one thing on this pod? The Tomlin rah-rah spot, and it just falls flat in the second half. So disappointing. It was 1-1 against the spread again.
It was a bummer of a week in a lot of ways, no doubt about that. We're going to try to shake that one off and move on to a new week. And the way that we do that is with the cold open question of the week. The boys do not know what I'm going to bring to them here. This is our chance for you to learn a little bit more about us, perhaps, right? Not our sports take, something else about our character, our wants, our knows, our likes, our desires. Goodness gracious. Here we go. Halloween is tomorrow, the next day after we record this, October 1st. So the holidays are upon us. And when the holidays are upon us, there are a lot of seasonal things that start making their way out into the ether, out into the public. Certain things are offered that are not offered at other times of the year. So my question for you, gentlemen, is let's break negative on these seasonal offerings. What is something that comes up seasonally for the holidays that you absolutely have zero time for? You find it unnecessary. Get it out of here. Jimmy Jam. Something for the holidays that comes up that you think is unnecessary. Get it out.
Could be a bad take. I hate pumpkin everything. I don't want anything to do with a pumpkin latte. I don't want anything to do with pumpkin pie. I don't care about pumpkin Soup. I don't know what else you can. The only thing a pumpkin should be done
Who
is you
served
put it on your
Who served you pumpkin soup?
You
Where
put it
did you
on
get
your
it?
front porch. I don't like pumpkin soup. You put it on your front porch and you carve it. And 4 days later, when it's all black and gooey, you throw it away. That is what a pumpkin is for. It's not to be eaten.
Pumpkins are to be mutilated, murdered, and put on display. That's it. I'm 100%
Okay.
behind Jimmy on this.
So you're out on pumpkins as well. The whole jack-o'-lantern
100%.
complex. The whole put a candle in there, right? We got
No, that's the only thing they're worth. Pumpkin spice, pumpkin flavored stuff, all that needs to go.
See, I think Jimmy's saying get rid of pumpkins altogether. You're saying you're still fine with carving them up.
No, he said put them on the front porch, on the stoop.
What was that, pumpkin
Yeah,
soup,
you can put
Jimmy?
them on the stoop. That's pumpkin soup.
See?
You got a little bacon, a
Okay.
little sour cream.
I'm not against bacon. This is
I'm
why you
good.
need to be checking us
I'm
out
good.
on YouTube, folks. Jimmy just put up a pumpkin soup, which I didn't even think was a real thing. I thought he was just making up pumpkin
Neither
soup.
did I, actually. I thought I was an idiot.
Like it was
But
green
whatever.
eggs and ham. All right, so Chris and Jimmy are 100% out on pumpkins. I will tell you that I'm not out on pumpkins. I think pumpkins are absolutely fabulous. I actually have 2 pumpkins on display on the porch that I should have brought down here for the podcast. One, I painted the WWE logo, right? Looks pretty good. And then in the other one, I carved the NBA logo. So I carved Jerry West, and then I painted a little blue and red around him and wrote NBA in white on a podcast. It looks great. I should have brought it down here, but I did not. What I have zero time for around Halloween is trunk or treat. Get it out of here. We don't need to be bringing kids to a secondary location to pick up other candy. I'm not against the giving away of free candy, but all you're trying to do here is advertise your establishment or your business or try to get me to buy something else. Or you're then taking away from actual Halloween night in neighborhoods. Neighborhoods are dying for trick-or-treating because these kids are trick-or-treated out by the time Halloween rolls around because they went to the firefighters trunk-or-treat. And they had a trunk-or-treat at their elementary school. And they had the trunk-or-treat over at the church. Come on. Stop it with the trunk-or-treats. Everybody actually get candy at your house. It's probably the only time you're ever going to see or talk to your neighbors. Don't let trick-or-treating from house to house die. Get out of here, trunk-or-treat. Williams, your seasonal unnecessity.
Yeah, it's so ironic that you asked this question, Rod. Wink, wink. Jimmy stealing my thunder here. Chris stealing my thunder. I was walking down an aisle in a major chain store, and I thought I was living in a simulation. I swear. I came across, are you guys ready for this? Pumpkin spice latte. Wait for it. Dude wipes. Are we serious? What are we doing as a society where we really need bros out here having a pumpkin spice latte butt crack? What is happening? What are we
My
doing?
God.
Yes,
So now,
exactly.
wait a
I took a
minute.
picture because I could not believe it. Wait, Rod, I can't make it to the party this weekend. Oh, why is that, Josh? Oh, I ran out of my pumpkin spice latte dude wipes. My ass crack isn't fresh enough to go to this party, Rod. I can't. What is going on? Pumpkin spice latte dude wipes? Please, somebody make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Dude, but they're with clove, nutmeg, and other fall shit. It actually says it.
Okay, listen.
All
I
right,
don't
I'm
know.
not going to lie. I'm not going to lie, Williams. I've never bought dude wipes in my life. I'm going to buy pumpkin spice latte dude wipes. I will
Oh,
report
come
back.
on.
Chris, all
Ranking
right, I'm going to
stuff,
ask you
gonna
this then,
report
Chris.
back
I'm going to ask you then.
next
I'm
week.
the only one that thought when Williams brought this up that maybe there was a chance that like somehow when you wipe with the pumpkin spice wipe that you just your body exhumes the pumpkin spice and like you feel it like through your anal orifice. Am I the only one that
Oh,
thought
you'll
that?
feel it. You'll feel it.
I just said anal
I'm not
orifice
going to
on the
lie.
podcast
I
as
actually
well.
might buy
I'm
pumpkin
shocked
spice
right
latte
now.
dude wipes. I'm not going to lie. That's fantastic, Williams.
I'm trying to understand the marketing behind this too. Like who at Dude Wipes was like, listen, dudes want their butts to smell like pumpkin spice. All right.
This is going down a
what boss do you sell that to?
that I don't think I can.
So, okay, if you put, like, let's say we're a few minutes out from using the wonderful Dude Wipes pumpkin spice latte scented wipes, all right? You're sitting down on the couch and you cut one. Have you automatically completely gotten rid of the pumpkin spice, or do you think it's strong enough to go ahead and overpower if you then cut one a few minutes after using it? What do we think the strength is?
Jimmy's going to have to test this theory out.
Well, okay, here's the situation. The customer, it's gotten okay reviews, but the tear rate is very bad.
Ah,
I don't want to know what the tear rate refers to. I'm not going to lie.
yeah, you don't want that. You really don't want that. You're getting your hands smelling like pumpkin spice. Then when you're going in to do what it's supposed to do, it's going to tear on you. Just bad all around. Wonderful. Wonderful, cold, open question. Always gets us in a mood, always gets us ready to talk about football. You know what we're going to do, Chris? We're going to skip the Cowboys this week, and we're going to skip the Colts this week. All right, there's just not much to say about either one of those games. The Colts rolled past the Titans, and the Cowboys unfortunately got rolled. So, Chris, we're not going to mention much about them.
Well, we always lose to the Broncos. It's 100% guaranteed. We play the Broncos, we lose.
But we do have to talk about the Bears. Jimmy alluded to it at the top. The Bears lost, making them not like football again. I had the Bears in the Survivor pool last week because I knew it was a kitchen sink game for the Ravens. Jimmy, what's your thoughts after that game? You lost to Snoop Huntley.
We were killing them in the first quarter, and it was 6-0, and that's when I knew we were in trouble because the Bears need to score those touchdowns. They cannot come away with just 2 field goals on that. The recess or whatever you call it, field goal at the end of the second, Santos isn't going to hit that. It was close, but it's not going to hit it. He's just not a long-range field goal kicker. You know, I heard somebody today say, you know, Caleb Williams will be fine, but is he going to be Trevor Lawrence and Kyler Murray fine? Or is he going to, you know, be able to step it up to the next level? And the worst thing you can be is a Trevor Lawrence or Kyler Murray, which is you're just going to be stuck in the same place. He's still young. He's got 2 years in. I think we need to give it a couple more. We need to give him some time, which no one gives it time for anything now. So not ideal of a day. But Derrick Henry finally had a great game for my fantasy team. So thank you, Derrick Henry. I really appreciate that.
Jimmy always able to find the bright side. Williams, what you think about your Bears? Caleb Williams starting to take a little bit of guff there. Jimmy alluded to it. What are your thoughts after the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what I expected. Like you said, why you took the Ravens as a kitchen sink game. Even if Lamar's not playing, I thought we had a better chance, obviously, to win. But still, a massive kitchen sink game for the Ravens. They had a bunch of defensive guys back for them. And Jimmy's right. We had to score there in the first quarter, touchdowns, not field goals. You can't settle for field goals against that defense that's coming back. And so, yeah, he missed some throws. I think Ben has been protecting him a little bit lately, and that's what he should do. Get that offensive line going, get the running game going, and we just got to bounce back now. That's. I mean, before the season started, no one thought we were winning at Baltimore, but now we play a Joe Burrow-less Cincinnati team who I think has the worst defense in the league, and so the offense has got to bounce back. So the offense played good against Dallas a few weeks ago, and Dallas doesn't have really that great a defense, and Cincinnati I think is way worse than Dallas on defense. So, yeah, we just got to bounce back. And this is what good coaches do. And they may lose one, but they got to bounce back. And you can't go on a losing streak. Remember, last year, we were 4-2 last year, and then we lost like 10 in a row. But that was with one of the worst coaches of all time. No hyperbole. So now we have, I think, one of the best play callers of all time. So we gotta bounce back and beat Cincinnati.
All right, Chris, we'll finish here with you. I'm going to ask you it this way. The Vegas odds makers have the Ravens as the odds-on favorite to win the AFC North. Do you see it that way after this game versus the Bears?
I think if the Ravens would have lost this game to the Bears, they wouldn't be favorites. I think they had to win. Like you said, it was a kitchen sink, but I don't think that was guaranteed until you see how they play when Lamar comes back, right? And that's what everyone's anticipating, Lamar coming back and like, okay, this is the Ravens that we thought we were going to have. And hopefully they're right because, I mean, Pittsburgh looks old, Cincinnati's no good, and we know what Cleveland is. So, I mean, it's there for the taking.
It absolutely is. We will see how Baltimore rallies up. Their schedule is not incredibly difficult either as you look down the end of the year. So, we're not necessarily a Ravens podcast, but I'm pro John Harbaugh. That's not, we like Lamar Jackson. Williams, one of the first things Williams ever gave to us was his Lamar Jackson bet that he cashed rather well back when he was the anonymous gambler. He gave us that one. That was how long ago that was. We've been doing this for a while. Speaking of doing this for a while, Jimmy Jamriska has been a wrestling fan longer than I can even say. And that's why he brings his love of wrestling over to the NFL and he gives us a face and a heel after every week. Jimmy Jam, what do you got for us?
It's a game we talked about already. I'm so proud to announce the face of the week is Justin Fields. Justin Fields had 244 yards passing and a touchdown, a quarterback rating of 99. After his owner essentially said he's worthless and we hate him, he was benched and told on, I think, Saturday that, oh, yeah, by the way, you know how we hate you and you're never playing again? You're starting tomorrow. And by golly, it was a Justin Fields game, wasn't it? He did everything possible to lose, but he finally won, and he finally won a game that his opponent scored more than 21 points. My Justin Fields shirt is, I think, coming in tomorrow now instead of today, but that's okay. I'm so proud of my boy. Justin Fields is your face of the week.
You got to admit, I don't get to the point where I feel like, happy for guys in the NFL or professional athletes very often. But Jimmy, you hit it right there. I mean, after the week that he had and then coming out there and showing up like that, like, good on Justin Fields, man. That's the kind of character that, like, we just don't talk an awful lot about when it comes to professional athletes. You know what I mean? Like, sure, Justin Fields makes an awful lot of money, and none of us should really ultimately feel that sad for him. But the guy was having a rough go of it, and he said, you know what? I'm not going to go quietly into the night, right? He's Bill Pullman in Independence Day. I'm going to get out here, and I'm going to fight. And he did it for 1 week, and the Jets got off the schneid. So congratulations, Justin Fields. You are the face of the week.
When they make this movie about Justin Fields, this game will be against the Bears instead of the Bengals, though. Just so you know, really to rub it in.
Nice.
That
and
would
Justin
make it
Fields just going to stay up for the rest of the time there for me.
creative license.
Heel of the week. Williams. We're going to kind of go to the heel of the week and Are You Serious? Because they're very similar. I'm going to go off the board here. When I was at the University of Cincinnati working, there is a food court right next to the rec center. We would go eat there. Well, one time we were eating there, and we looked over at this table, and this table was a long table. A lot of people had sat there, but it was just filthy. People just brought all this food, and it was just really trashy. Like, who the heck was sitting there? And someone says, oh, it's the football team. They do that all the time. The coach of the football team at that point was Brian Kelly. And at that point, I really wasn't the biggest fan because that's not how you treat, other people, because someone has to pick that up. And, you should have discipline and have your team clean that up. Fast forward to this week, and no one likes Brian Kelly. I haven't heard one person say, he's a good guy. His wife hasn't said anything. His kids haven't said anything. Your boy's getting paid $50 million. He won a lot of games. He was pretty phony at LSU. So I'm just going to give him the heel of the week this week because I don't buy it. I'm not a big fan.
I think our guy Pete Osterman in our group thread said it best. You'd like to see some of this $54 million that LSU is paying Brian Kelly to not coach go to the family of Declan Sullivan. But unfortunately, that's not the way that these things work. Brian Kelly kept his job after somebody died at Notre Dame, but he lost 3 SEC games and he had to get fired. That's just how serious they take college football in the South. Williams, you have some more evidence to that for Are You Serious, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's SEC football. It just means more, right, Rod? It just means more.
A lot more.
Yeah, this story goes way deeper than what you guys even think. And let me tell you why. So, Are You Serious? Scott Woodward, he is the AD for LSU. He wrote up the contract for Brian Kelly, the $54 million buyout. I mean, these buyouts are getting ridiculous. They are ridiculous. These coaches aren't that good. We've went over this, right? You can find another coach that does just as good a job with these guys. But anyway, Scott Woodward used to be the former AD for Texas A&M. Scott Woodward. Why is that important? Because he was the one who wrote up the contract for Jimbo Fisher, who, if you remember, while at Texas A&M, had a buyout of $77.5 million. Now, why is this story bigger than what you think? The Louisiana governor ripped Scott Woodward apart, said he will not be making the decision on the next LSU football coach. Thank God. How about that? When you have the state governor telling you to knock it off with these ridiculous buyout numbers, you know that they've gotten way out of hand. Now, the board of supervisors is now in charge for hiring the next coach at LSU. And here's a quote from the governor. He said, "We're going to put metrics on it because I'm tired of rewarding failure in this country and leaving the taxpayers to foot the bill." Man, guys, call me crazy. I kind of wish the governor of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, was the head coach of the LSU football team. I'm ready to run through a wall for this guy. Team common sense, Jeff Landry. Let's go LSU.
Let's not.
You may want to read a little bit more on Jeff Landry.
Let's also not fail to mention that his accent was absolutely fabulous. Like what you would imagine the governor of Louisiana sounds like. That's exactly what this guy sounded like. So I was excited when I heard the soundbite.
Elmer Fudd.
Instead of making a big deal about who they hire next, how about making it a bigger deal about who and why they fire these people with these big buyouts, right? Because he lost 3 games to ranked top 10 teams, all right? These aren't, Kennesaw State out there. These are top 10 teams that he lost to this year, and they fire him. No, That's ridiculous. All right. Stop it with this type of crazy stuff and this obscene notion that you can be perfect all the time. I pray to God that IU fans, those of us out there, do not turn into the type of people who want to fire Signetti after he loses a couple of games, because it's going to happen, right? We know that. As long as he doesn't lose to Purdue. But hopefully we don't turn in.
Jerk.
Hopefully we don't turn into SEC fans.
Yeah, I was gonna say that he lives to Purdue 2 years in a row. Chris, you're gonna be on this podcast calling for his head. I know how you work. Let's calm down up there, my friend.
You're not wrong. That's my first requisite for any coach at IU: beat Purdue, then Big Ten championship, and so on.
All right, there we go. We shout out to Brian Kelly's 94 rounds of golf, they say, at assorted Louisiana country clubs in his 40 years down there at LSU. Shout out to that. Go ahead, BK, get it in. All right, we got one.
So wait, Rod, real quick, Rod, you're the golf. A round of golf is 18, right?
You would think.
Okay.
He's probably not just going out there for
you
9.
Would think.
You know, BK
so
goes
many
full.
rounds of golf.
You know what I mean? He goes full. You know, that's why he gets all mad on the sidelines. You know what I'm saying? He's just everything we go to the fullest extent. So there's no way that he's just turning off after 9. Doubt it. You know, somebody who never plays 9 holes? Chris's Leatherheads team. They always play the full 18. Who do you got this week, Chris?
Chris, again, likes to mute himself, but I appreciate that. No, I'm ambient sound, but no sound at all, too.
Yeah, sorry.
Buddy. You're good.
Yep. Defensive heavy this week. I thought about putting Josh Allen, but I mentioned him already this year. All right. Got to give a shout out to Myles Garrett, the 5 sacks and the losing ever, and he was mad enough. He probably could have got more. All right. Anthony Nelson from Tampa Bay. All right. 2 sacks, a forced fumble, a pick, and a touchdown. All right. It hasn't been done for since the 90s, I think. But sticking to that Tampa Bay Saints game, and I know this team was probably on nobody's radar to make my Leatherhead list, but I have to give it to the Saints defense for one particular set of plays. They had 5 stops consecutively at the goal line against Tampa Bay. It was a phenomenal old school type. I'm running it in the middle. We're stopping you, and goes to prove that even the sun can shine on a dog's ass every once in a while, right? So good job, Saints. Is probably the closest you'll get to any kind of awards, but that was impressive. I love defense, so you get my Leatherhead of the week.
Call up Trombone Shorty, get the brass band shaken to the second line beat, baby. They have something to celebrate in New Orleans, and it is being on Chris's Leatherheads team. How about that? All right, now let's move on to Williams' picks against the spread. You heard him at the top of the show. He's not had a 2-0 week yet. We always got our fingers crossed every week for 2-0. Is it this week? And Williams, I'm going to start right now by telling you something. You are not allowed to break down the Tennessee Titans in any way, shape, or form. When you get to the pick that involves the Tennessee Titans, you cannot say anything about that team. No one cares. First, though, tell us about the Falcons and the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going with the team that laid an absolute turd last week. I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons plus 5.5, minus 110 on DK and MGM. Look, the Pats have been beating up on bad teams. The Falcons are coming off, like I said, one of the worst performances you will ever see from a team that was a home favorite, by the way. Now the world is against them. Everyone telling them how good Drake May is. You have no chance, et cetera, et cetera. Falcons were without 4 defensive starters. Teams off a loss by more than 2 touchdowns as a touchdown favorite, like the Falcons were last week. They are 33-16-1 against the spread the following week. That's 67%. When those teams are on the road the following week, like the Falcons are this week in New England, they're 24-9-1 against the spread. That's 73%. And as a road dog of over a field goal, like the Falcons are this week, they are 10-3-1 against the spread. That's 77%. Now, you should get Penix back. You should get London back. That helps the offense, as well as 3 of the 4 defensive starters that missed in week 8. And when those guys have been healthy, they've been doing a great job at limiting explosive plays. That's what Drake May has done great this year. He's excelled with the long ball. So the Falcons should present him a problem with that area. And there should be some regression coming to this Pats team. They're 10 of 12 on 4th downs this year. Their opponents are only 3 of 11. So that I think that stat is bound to regress. And the Pats have essentially had nobody on the injury report this whole week. When does that injury luck turn? The Falcons were absolutely embarrassing last week. They got to play better this week. Give me the Falcons plus 5.5 in New England.
I find it interesting that you went Falcons on the road, because I don't disagree with you that they're a team that tends to go, Jekyll and Hyde from week to week, but they usually show up stronger down there in the Georgia Dome than they do on the road.
You're true. That's true. Honestly, I think this is like the Ravens kitchen sink game last week. I think this is the ultimate kitchen sink game for the Falcons. You put up an absolute turd of a game last week against the Dolphins. You got to show up this week.
Shout out Kirk Cousins. Not really. Everybody was all like, hey, Kirk's going to have his chance to play for the Falcons, maybe get traded to somebody, and then he just absolutely looked like he did last year and why they benched him for Michael Penix. So, again, Kirk, man, the worst thing that ever happened to Kirk Cousins was I bought into him because he went down a water slide. Basically, his career went into the tank ever since I was like, hey, Kirk Cousins was smiling on a water slide. That means he's going to be great. My goodness, what was I thinking about? All right, Williams, I mentioned it at the top. I understand that the Chargers-Titans is probably a gimme game. And I love my guy, Jim Harbaugh. But honestly, you can't be giving us too many facts about the Titans. This team is atrocious.
No, I can't. And just to circle back there, I called the Falcons a turd of a team. Maybe they'll use some pumpkin spice latte dude wipes before the game and get us all pumped up for the Falcons to cover. Because God knows we need some more pumpkin spice latte dude wipes, especially in the NFL, right? Yes.
Use the code TMYK to get
Wouldn't that be
an
incredible? Get
Sure.
at us, dude wipes.
Yeah. Let's sponsor. Yeah, let's get a sponsor here. Yeah, usually I'm super contrarian on this pod. You guys should tell me more often to just think about what you're doing. I'm not going to overthink this, guys, okay? I'm taking Chargers team total over 26.5, minus 120 on DK. This is juiced up to minus 130 on ESPN Bet. It's up to minus 140 on MGM, and at Caesars, which is one of the more sharper books around, they decided to move the number entirely up to 27.5, and it's still not at a plus number. So it seems like all the books making you pay juice here. They don't like this Titans team just as much as the rest of us don't like this Titans team. So look, the Chargers under Harbaugh last year, when facing teams that ended up 500 or worse, their Chargers offense averaged 34.5 points per game. Now compare that to when they were playing a team over 500, they scored on average 10 points per game less, so only 24.5 points per game. And the last two games for this year's Chargers team versus teams under 500, they scored 29 and 37, right about what that average was last year. They have extra rest to prepare for this game, 10 days here. Remember, they played on Thursday night. They beat Minnesota. The Titans have given up these point totals to winning teams. This is the only Titans stat I'm giving, Rod, here. This is the pathetic Titans stat.
I'll allow it.
They've given up these point totals to winning teams this year. 33 to the Rams, 41 to Indy, 31 to New England, and 38 again to the Colts. The Chargers can't score 27 points in this game. I know it looks way too easy, so it's probably not going to win. But my God, give me the Chargers over 26.5 points. Can we get a 2-0 ATS week this week? For the love of God, and for the love of pumpkin spice dude wipes.
And for the love of pumpkin spice dude wipes. Absolutely love that. All right, now on to our Survivor picks. As we mentioned there, I correctly predicted the Ravens kitchen sink game. So I am back on winning ways. Chris, currently in a streak, right? Who's actually streaking right now, Jimmy? It's hard to keep track of the Survivor pool because so many of us have died.
Actually streaking now. Thank you, Rod.
Okay.
I appreciate that so much for you remembering that. I have 3 in a row.
Nice. All right.
That's
well,
the only
let's go to
streak
you
we
then.
got going right now.
It's kind of like golf. You've got the honors then, Jimmy Jam. Who's your pick?
I am going to pick a team that I did not think I was ever going to pick in this, but they're going against somebody else I didn't think I was going to pick either. I'm going to pick the Jacksonville Jaguars to win their game this week. The Raiders are really, 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 really bad. So if I pick them, it's got to be the Jags. The Jags have to win this game. The Jags have to win this game.
Coming off a
The
bye.
Jags are not going to win this game. Huh?
They're coming off a bye. They should win.
Yeah, they should.
All right, I'll go there after I gave Jimmy the honors there. I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers over the absolutely decimated New York Giants. I love my Giants. I thought things were going to be live for them, but Scatterbo out, Neighbors out. I think the Giants season is basically over here at this point. So give me the 49ers, who are surprisingly streaking. Kyle Shanahan really showing that he is actually a good football coach because he is scheming things up, and it doesn't matter who the 49ers are playing out there, and they're still winning. So give me the Niners.
Yeah, it depends who their quarterback is, but whoever it is going to be hurt and still play well, so it doesn't really matter. I really like that pick as well, Rod.
Chris, who you got for us?
I need to keep a streak going. I went with the Colts last week. I'm going to go with another good team playing a bad one. Give me the Rams over the Saints. It's a gimme.
Rams over Saints.
I was going to pick that, but I already picked Rams. Yep, good call.
All right, Williams, who do you got? We'll leave it to you, the handicapper. Who's the final survivor pick?
Yeah, I've already talked about it. I mean, I can't use the Rams or the Packers. I've already used them already, so I've already talked about them. Give me the hardball Chargers.
There we go. Chargers, Titans. We're all trying to actually win this week. So let's hope Williams goes 2-0 against the spread. Let's hope all four of us survive for a survivor week. That will be absolutely wonderful. Jimmy, I did not calculate the wins league totals this week. Do you have those?
I don't have them off the top of my head, but I do want to say one thing.
I got them.
It'd be the first time this year that we've all won in a week, and it's week 9 in our Survivor Challenge. Williams, what are the totals in the wins league?
Yeah, so let's see here. Jimmy, you got 3 wins last week. You're up to 24. The Jets got
Still
you
in last.
Yeah, Jets got you a win. Chris got 3 last week. He's up to 34. He's in first place. I only got 2 last week, Ravens and Chiefs. I'm up to 31. And Rod was the big winner last week. He had 5 of his teams win. He's up to 31. Also, he's tied with me in second place.
Let's go. The old man, though. Look at you, Chris, just dominating in the wins league this year.
The only team that is underachieving for Chris is his first pick, the number 3 overall pick, Cincinnati.
I really should have had the Bengals and Colts switch because the Colts were my last pick. That's how much hate you guys had for the Colts. I got them with my last pick in the draft.
Oh.
We thought Anthony Richardson Sr. was going to be their quarterback,
We
Chris.
knew Jones was starting at that period in time. Don't give me that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris's fandom paid off for him in the NFL Wins League. My fandom has not paid off for me in the NBA Wins League as of quite yet. We will get to that here in just a second when Jimmy runs us on the fast break. But Williams, before we say goodbye, do you have any last NFL nuggets for the good people?
I don't, but just watch out, Colts fans. This could be the ultimate lag week for the Tomlin rah-rah spot. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I'm rooting for you guys, but just watch out for that. And the Colts struggle versus tight ends. The Steelers have like 17 tight ends on the roster, so yeah.
The delayed Tomlin rah-rah spot, terrifying. Williams, how dare you bring that up right at the end. All right, Jimmy, let's run the fast break. Get my mood back up.
Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. Jimmy, Rod, and Chris are here. And if this works, we're just going to go right into it, Rod. We're going to go to the Rod Nation. The week.
My Rod Nation this week is related to the ESPN gambling, not the ESPN, the gambling scandal again, but it relates to ESPN and their covering of said gambling scandal. Like, what are we doing? I remember back in the day where a scandal like this would hit, Jimmy, and we would get Bob Lee, right, sitting in the chair. We would get, let's go immediately to the field of people who can explain things to us, right? We would go to Roger Cossack, right? The legal analyst for ESPN for so many years, right? We had to have him on when we were doing the Balco trial and Kobe and all of this stuff. All of these people are out the door at ESPN now, and they are so locked in to the first take of it all that when they were having the press conference live for the FBI announcing these charges, ESPN didn't even go live to the press conference. You could go to CNN and they'd be live on the press conference talking about the NBA the gambling scandal, but not on ESPN. And then ESPN still has somebody like Brian Windhorst in their umbrella, who is a great reporter, who is respected, who's been around for years. We all believe Windhorst when he says things. You don't even put him on TV. You put Shams Charania on TV talking about all this stuff. And honestly, I understand why you did it. You pay him all that money. He's your NBA newsbreaker. You're trying to have him be out front of your NBA coverage. But this is not a seasoned reporter. Okay, this is a guy still in his 20s, I believe. All right. And then the fact that he doesn't have a lot of chops reporting hard stories like this or having a lot of experience on TV, it showed, and it showed bad. ESPN. You need to still have some people under your umbrella that can do real reporting. We can't just all be fanboys and hot take artists. We got to still have some reporters under the umbrella. So my Rod Nation is for ESPN. You're getting laughed by Amazon. You're getting laughed by NBA or by NBC. Pick up your NBA coverage, ESPN. This is terrible.
Chris, I'm going to go to you on this. Do you think ESPN, now that they're really in bed with the NBA, wants to do that anymore?
I haven't used ESPN as a source for most of my catch up, recaps, research for this pod in a while. I will tend to stick to a more specialized website or channel or program to that effect, right? Because you don't get in depth. All you're getting is, like Rod said, hot takes and opinions. All right. It's very little substance, right? It's very little. What part of me loves about ESPN is the 30 for 30 type stuff, those type of in-depth documentaries and news articles that ESPN has been known for in the past isn't there.
Yeah, Rod, this was like a kind of a curveball on a 3-0 count to talk a little baseball here. I didn't really expect that to be your Rod Damnation this week, but I agree with that because we need to have people who we trust on this. Windhorse had a terrific podcast with a lawyer recently, then the lawyer kind of went over everything and some of the things that she thinks is going to happen and isn't going to happen. And that's what we need instead of just kind of this news breaking, I'm reading stuff from my sources, kind of get in depth with it. So yeah, Rod, excellent point there.
And also, Jimmy, real quick to that end as well, ESPN does have a reporter covering gambling, and he went on the Zach Lowe show on the Ringer Podcast Network. They didn't even put their own reporter on any of their podcasts or TV. What are we doing?
Yeah, maybe because he went on Zach Lowe, he's not allowed on ESPN anymore. I don't know. It was really odd that happened. We haven't really heard too much more about the case. Pablo Torre hasn't come out with the newest thing. I guess Kevin Garnett played in it. Tyrone Lue played in it. There's going to be so much more that comes out. I guess Antonio Gates, tight end for the Chargers, was involved at some point, I heard.
He always wanted to be a basketball player. See, Jimmy also mentioned Pablo Torre. That's another guy. ESPN let him walk out the door. Be nice if he was doing all that investigative reporting under their umbrella, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Pablo Torre just dunking on everybody. Let me tell you, this is a
the
huge
NBA wants it pushed under the rug. It's evident there. I mean, they are being way up front and blatant about pushing like the money lines with your play-by-play guys and your color analysts. Like you're getting up-to-date betting info throughout the whole game, essentially. So they don't want this in the news and trying to sweep it under the rug. So you know where they stand.
Well, I know the NBA and the books right now, as of this moment, are looking at some of the most vulnerable bets and what you can do and what you can't do. I know that it's been said a lot, and on the Hoop Collective and everything, where do we really need the over/under on points from the ninth man on the Pelicans? Do we really need that, or do we have to put a maximum amount of bets on everything? You got to be careful here because legislation could come out any day and something could happen where it's just not going to happen anymore. The good news is, though, stuff like this has happened all the time, like forever, since the first sport was played back when Chris invented it, okay? The reason why we know about this is the books caught it right away with Rozier. So that's a good thing, but it's the small things like the first pitch in a baseball game. Is that really consequential either way? Maybe, maybe not, but that can easily be bet on majorly, and we need to fix that.
It's just going to push stuff to the areas where the books can't catch it, right? You're still going to have dark betting sites. You're going to still have the underground, bookies that run things, and that's kind of where you get the Chauncey Billups of them all involved, right?
Exactly.
Shout out to Chauncey, though. Last thing we'll say on this, Jimmy. This is a poker thing.
Sure, you're fine.
Chauncey was making his move. He wore the Clutch Sports hoodie as he was.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Pulled away. He was kind of like, "Hey, just so you know, I'm holding the cards. Just so you know, don't be messing with me. Don't leave me out in the wind because I'll take all of you down." I love that out of Chauncey.
That was amazing. Let's talk about in person on the court. Everyone understood. Everyone knows this season's starting. The Bulls and 76ers are Eastern Conference 4-0. Everyone had this, right, guys?
The Cowboy had it for sure. We all know that the Cowboy had the Bulls back. He can't stop texting us about the Bulls this last week. Oh my goodness.
Right. We did, as a collective, mention that if it was possible for the Sixers to be better than we're expecting if people were able to stay healthy. That's the surprising part. People aren't staying healthy, and they're still being this productive and winning these games.
Yeah, they are. We've got to shout out this rookie class. This rookie class is looking very good right now. When Cooper Flagg is like the third or fourth person mentioned, it's pretty good. VJ Edgecombe, my boy, let's go. Harper's doing well as well. It's really a good rookie class so far. 5 games in. I understand that. But they're playing very well, Rod.
Yeah, it's like we got a lot of young talent in the NBA. I've really thought about it recently, right? Like KD's still sort of doing his thing down in Houston, you know what I mean? Like he's been just fine. He's kind of doing what Kevin Durant does on just a tad bit of a lower level, right? Steph Curry's still absolutely amazing out in Golden State, so you can still see a wildly out of control Steph Curry night at any one time, but LeBron's not playing, right? LeBron's not playing. LeBron's not really talking, right? James Harden is looking a little bit old. Joel Embiid is certainly looking a little bit old. It's like we're seeing the cycling of time almost right before our eyes, right? It's Shea, it's Wemby, it's Castle, it's Harper, it's Edgecombe, it's Maxey. It's all these guys that we haven't really thought about that are starting to bubble up a little bit. And I'm here for it. I think that you said it yourself, Jim, put the brakes on a little bit. The NBA season is long. You, me, and Chris will be doing a podcast about the NBA all the way up until June. So there's plenty of time for this thing to switch up and on itself and to have the veteran leadership and the experience come through. But right now, young legs and these guys cooking people one-on-one and driving to the basket, and it's making for some fun basketball. I'm all for it. This gambling thing aside, it's been a great start to the season.
Yeah, no, it's been exciting, right? And surprising, okay? Because I was really crapping on the Bulls hard, so I gotta give them a lot of credit. So I'm gonna eat a little bit of crow now. I'm still gonna root and hope that they fail the rest of the season, just because I need my Pacers to win, and we're not.
A game?
So, yeah, right. So it is surprising, but it's been fun. And there's like even if you look at Charlotte has 3 or 4 guys that are either rookies or their second year guys that are contributing heavily to their success because they're already better than anybody expected as well.
So, of all of the surprises that Chris you mentioned in the first week of the season, I'm going to go with my biggest surprise is the amount of 50-point scorers we've had and who those 50-point scorers are. Shea, when you go to the free throw line 35 times in a game, you better get 50 points. That's all I'm going to say. When you have a double overtime, you better get those 50 points. Lauri Markkanen, who I didn't know was still in the league from the Jazz because he had this foot injury for 3 years, decides, hey, we're going to play finally. Austin Reeves gets a chance because the other 2 guys on the team that take all the points aren't playing. But Aaron Gordon, ladies and gentlemen, 10 threes, 8 of 8, and then 9 of 10, I think is what it was. 8 of 9, 9 of 10 for threes. Unbelievable scoring right now on an individual basis in the NBA.
There's a lot of guys averaging over 35 points, not just the 50-point games, but think about the guys that are averaging over 35 points. There's at least 6 or 7 right now.
Yeah, there's a lot, and that's but free throws are up so much, guys. This is ridiculous. Can we not have all these free throws and get a game that's under 3 hours, please? It's kind of like Rod. It's kind of like baseball and basketball flipped the switches, didn't it?
Yeah, and Jimmy, you mentioned surprises. My surprise has got to be A.J. Williams on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Honestly, they guys have 3 max players in Jalen Williams, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and Chet Holmgren. They got Caruso, who's making a pretty decent deal. Everybody crazy when they got traded from the Bulls. They got Hartenstein, who's making pretty decent money. They got all these other guys that rotate in. Oh, and yeah, by the way, A.J. Williams, who's on a 3-year league minimum deal, just comes in and is just as good as any other point guard in the league. You think the Pacers would like to have this dude right now since they just signed Mac McClung, for goodness sakes? And then the Thunder are just yeah, we didn't even play this guy last year, and now we're rolling him in on the defending champion team, and we're not missing a beat at all. The Thunder just disgust me, Jimmy. They're so good.
Chris, A.J. Williams is so out of nowhere that Rod doesn't even have his name right. How about that?
Well, he's
A.J.
not
Mitchell.
wrong.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's A.J. Mitchell. Hey, listen, there's 13 Williams on that team. You're fine. No problem. But yeah, he's doing great. I mean, that's not fair. I'm sorry. Not fair for the Thunder.
It's the way it goes. People said it wasn't fair when Boston got Porzingis, right? You never know what's going to happen.
Well, not fair. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. I don't like it. Chris, what is your biggest surprise?
There is. Okay, free throws, yeah, they've increased by 6 or 7 per game, and that's the largest since 91, I think it was. But we already have seen 3 teams have as much injuries that they're able to get an injury exception from the league to sign a guy, right? We've seen his greatness finally come out, and speak against this. And this is going to be a little bit of a rant plus a surprise. I'm surprised by the amount of injuries. I think this has to go to the conditioning and the training these guys have to go through, and stop with the load management. Train and be prepared to play a full 82 games. If the GOAT is out here telling y'all to play 82 games, then you should be able to get out there and play 82 games. I think if we get back into the proper conditioning, off-season workouts, these guys won't get injured as much, and we'll be able to see longer careers and a better full season out of some of these guys.
So
I don't
wait,
know, Rob, what do you think? Yeah, go ahead.
Chris likes old man Michael Jordan coming out from the woods and sitting down in his living room with Mike Tirico and absolutely laying waste to every single person in the NBA who has not thought about playing 79 games. I'm so shocked to hear Chris come on here and cheer on Michael Jordan, absolutely attacking the current generation of basketball players. I'm so shocked that Chris enjoyed MJ's insights on greatness there. Come on, Michael. At least change outfits, my guy. We all know that you just filmed this over 90 minutes at your house before you had to go back out for another 18. But at least throw on a different jacket. Something. Come on, Michael.
He couldn't even put on a different watch. I know. I love that. Hey, they said he was going to be a special correspondent, and he was a special correspondent. So we talked about the Pacers real quick. They haven't won a game yet. We know that. Not ideal, obviously.
A lot of
we also have the Pelicans and the Nets that haven't won a game yet either. So I ask you, who will be the last defeated team? Rod Morgan.
The Pelicans want to try to win. They traded away their pick next year to get Derek Queen. So they definitely want to try to win. New Jersey won more than they were supposed to last year, and their management said, not so fast. We're going to make sure you don't have any NBA-level talent on that team whatsoever, and we're going to stock you with 5 rookies, all who want to handle the ball. New Jersey is going to be a while before they win, in my opinion. I think the Pelicans are going to get off the schneid. They've actually played good in a couple of games. They just come out on the other side.
They have. Zion is back. He's doing well. He didn't do as well yesterday, but I think so too. Chris, who you got?
I'm really scared that it's going to be the Pacers. So we've been close. We should have probably beat Dallas the other night. I thought our guys played real tough. We have a lot of our top reserves and a couple starters out, right? And so we're leaning on Siakam and the Beard, and that Beard is not the good one. So it's tough out there for Pacers. I'm really concerned it's going to be us. I think Rod's right. Pelicans are out there trying to win. I think Zion can get him a win by himself at least once soon, and Brooklyn's probably going to be lucky enough to win.
Yeah, here's the thing. Brooklyn's not trying to win, so I think that's where they're just not going to win. I'm sorry. They don't have anybody that really resembles. I'm so bored with them. What are you doing? Why? At least the Jazz now have decided, hey, we're going to win a couple games in the first week. Why not, right? Good things, it's called karma. Good things come to those who try, and they're just not trying right now. When you get 5 point guards in the first round, what are you doing? And I agree with you that I think Zion is going to do well, and I also think the Pacers, they're going to get one because they're going to play hard. It's pretty bad if you're James Wiseman that you were cut for a guy literally half your size, and he played better than you have in 3 years. Is James Wiseman ever going to do anything, Rod?
It certainly seems like that dude doesn't have the want to, right? That's the only thing that you can never really calculate when we start doing all these formulas and we have all these scouts turn in their reports about these guys and we get their measurables. The only thing that you can never really figure out is, does this guy actually really love basketball, or did he? And we hear about this all the time. Guys that are blessed with the physical traits sometimes just get pushed into the game of basketball and they don't really love it. And it certainly seems like that might be the case with old James Wiseman here, because it has not worked out for him in any of his styles. Granted, injuries maybe had something to do with it in Indy if I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but they obviously didn't see much in practice either.
Speaking of injuries, Anthony Davis injured again last night. We were very scared. He had an Achilles issue coming into the game, but apparently he'll be okay. It's kind of what you do with Anthony Davis, isn't it?
Yeah, that's been his MO since the time he was a Pelican, right?
Yeah. Do you now put him on the Joel Embiid track and just say, hey, we don't want him to get hurt. We're going to play 20 minutes a game and be done with it?
I don't know if you can do that.
You got to pay him. Someone's got to pay him too coming up. How many years are you giving Anthony Davis right now?
You're not giving him an extension right now unless you absolutely have to. So I think Dallas is just gonna ride these wheels a little bit, and maybe they're gonna start falling off a tad bit. But they don't have a choice with Kyrie being out and Cooper Flag not really adjusting to the NBA game as quickly as everybody thought he might. They need to ride AD. But if he can't play, you might be onto something there, Jim.
All right, speaking of wins and losses, we're going to get to the Wins League. My Wins League spreadsheet kind of took a dump on me, but I was able to get back, so I think I'm definitely correct in all of these. Yeah, so Chris King, how are you, bud? Feeling good?
Not bad. I know the Pacers haven't won a game yet, so
Yeah, you your wins are 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, and 2. You have 11 total wins on the season, Chris. You are in you're in 5th place now. We have so many people in this Wins League. You are in 5th place in the Wins League.
Fantastic.
Rod is a close 4th though with 12. Rod, excellent there. Here's the situation. Y'all threw some stuff at me this year. All right, so for the first time, I think literally in 2 years, I am not in 1st place in our Wins League. I am in 2nd place, 1 game behind 1st, but I am tied with Wu-Tang with 15 wins right now. The Pelicans, I needed 1 win out of the Pelicans. I picked the Pelicans before the Warriors, guys. Pelicans have 0 wins, Warriors have 4. Thank you. I appreciate that. Steph Curry, you're my boy. But Derek, with his Bulls pick, who he almost picked him first, and he actually should have, how the season's going so far, with 16 wins. 16 wins for Derek, so it's really close right now. I think this will be a lot more fun, a lot more close, so I can actually give you everyone else a chance. I'm giving Derek a 1-week thing. It'll be fun. It's great, but don't worry. Starting next week, I'll come back.
So you're telling me having the Wizards and the Celtics on my team is not incredibly good for the Wins League right now?
It's not ideal. Not ideal right now. The Celtics are not looking good. But you know who is looking good, though? Kings. Hardwood. Hierarchy.
So this team still has done nothing but win since they won the championship. So they have not been knocked out of the Kings' throne, and that's OKC. All right? You're 5-0. You're still the king. Even though there's someone real hot on your tails, and that is the defensive juggernaut of the San Antonio Spurs. That's your queen, and really, there's going to be 2 princes, and that's because Derek's a fan. We got the Sixers and the Bulls as your 2 princes.
Jimmy was so amazed by your fact that you hadn't moved Oklahoma City out that he just ran through a wall. Chris, did you notice that while you were giving your first place team on the hierarchy, that Jimmy just ran through a wall?
Right, I mean that's the dedication and
there he is.
that
He's
he
running,
has.
he's
Here he comes back.
The wall again. Oh my goodness, Jimmy Jamriska can run through walls, ladies and gentlemen. I told you he was a fabulous podcast producer, but now you just got to see that he literally can run through walls. There was a squared circle that he just ran through. Perhaps that's a little bit of foreshadowing. But Chris, I love it. 2 princes, the spin doctor spot.
Yep, and of course we have to have a jester. We talked about some winless teams. This team is not winless, but this is a team that is playing well below anticipated results.
Don't you do it. Don't.
And that's Orlando Magic.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
God, I thought you were about to put the Celtics and the Jester, and we were going to have fights.
I didn't expect the Celtics to do anything this year. They got 2 wins. Right now, they're exceeding expectations.
Better than the Pacers.
The Magic.
We're off the schneid.
Yeah, no, better than Pacers. You're definitely correct. But the
Jaylen
Magic
Brown
were supposed
paints
to
his
be
hair on.
at minimum a top 6 seed, right? We all thought Orlando was going to be in the top 6. We didn't think they were going to be in a play-in game, and here they are at 1 win and some horrible defensive numbers. All right, this is an Orlando team that had great defense just a year ago, and now in all important defensive rating 22nd, offensive rating 26th. 3-point percentage 28. Didn't they get Desmond Bane to increase their 3-point percentage shooting? I mean, that's not working out, is it? So, Orlando, you're the Jesters.
I agree with that. I think that the Magic are really playing under what they need to be. The Princes, of course, it's a 4-team thing that we do. You have 5 teams in it because it's yours. You can do whatever you want, Chris. But Bulls and 76ers have really outpaced where they are. I don't know how much longer they're going to be on this list. They might be in that 4th spot once or twice, but I think that's good. And then the Spurs, watch out. Watch out, everybody. Victor is here, and Victor is good to go. And that has been the Fast Break on the More You Know's podcasting network.
I just hope my
Like,
Celtics
comment,
never
and subscribe.
make Jester. Well, I'm sorry, Chris. I just
Like,
want my
comment,
Celtics
and
never be Jester.
subscribe. Goodbye, Internet.
Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcasting network. In the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod. And guys, the WWE over the weekend had their best ever vignettes. A little teaser vignette coming out. We got people walking. They're sending these tweets out. What's going on? We got a guy in nice shoes. Is it Walter? Is it Gunther? Who is it? Oh, we got somebody in a different pair of shoes. What is this? Is it Jericho? Is Jericho coming back? No. It's Santos Escobar. He's coming back. No, it's a WrestleMania commercial that they teased for some reason to get your tickets. Guys, read the room. This is ridiculous. It was a really great idea that they could have used for something really great. Instead, it's, hey, buy these tickets in Las Vegas. Rod, I didn't like it.
No, I did not either. The minute I saw the shoes, I was like, well, that's Gunther. And then I just thought that meant that, okay, we haven't seen Gunther on TV here for a little bit. Like, we're bringing him back in. Storyline's cool. Some chops. Let's go. Then I was like, there has been a bit of a weirdness going on with Santos. He's gone. He doesn't have a non-compete. He does have a non-compete. Maybe he's coming back. I doubt he's actually coming
Andrade.
back.
That's Andrade, remember.
Oh, excuse me. You're right, Andrade. Right, but you did say Santos. Maybe it would be Santos. Love me some Santos.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
Then the boots, Jimmy. Then the boots, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I know exactly whose boots those belong to. That's Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's only going to show up for something big time. So, yay, we're getting Brock fighting somebody at WrestleMania again.
Of course, we have to, right, Chris?
If a real WWE fan out there is buying tickets to WrestleMania this early, it's not because of the vignette that they saw over the weekend, right? And I don't think any of us anticipate or even think that the WWE knows that they can get Brock Lesnar for sure ready to wrestle or be healthy to wrestle come WrestleMania. That's a whole lot of time between now and then.
Yeah, but he's not going to wrestle between now and then, so it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Lesnar will be good to go. Something I want to ask you guys before we get into Saturday night's main event. Rod, did you listen to the Not Sam Wrestling podcast this week? By chance?
I did not.
Okay. So he has an idea for what could happen at Saturday night's main event. And I hated it until the very end. His idea for the undisputed the World Heavyweight Championship, between CM Punk and Jey Uso is to have them wrestle a really solid match, go back and forth, and then have something happen where neither of them wins the title. The next night on Raw, Adam Pearce has been yelled at by the board. He doesn't say who, but he gets yelled at by the board, said, you're going to lose your job unless you figure this out. So then he comes up with a tournament to get the number one contenders in there, okay? But this tournament will happen the day after Survivor Series. So this is kind of a long and convoluted thing, but bear with me here. It happens the day after Survivor Series. He's going to pick two captains for War Games, and they are going to pick the people they want to be on their team. But the catch is, whoever's team wins War Games, they get the 4 or 5 spots in the tournament. The team that loses War Games, they are not allowed in the tournament at all. So you have 4 or 5 spots in the tournament guaranteed, and then another 3 or 4 spots there. Okay? Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. So then we have the tournament over the next couple weeks. The winner of the tournament does not win the world championship because they have to have a winner of this world championship. They have to. Last time they did it, they didn't have a winner. So they're going to put this person in a match that no one will interfere in because it is the biggest match we've had in the past decade. The winner of this will face John Cena in John Cena's last match, and the winner of that is the world champion. John Cena can't, if he wins, it's a premonition. He won and he's leaving with the belt. This new person wins. He then has defeated the legend. He is the world champion and he gets a big boost. And Not Sam on his podcast said the winner of this tournament and the winner against John Cena, which he should win, should be LA Knight.
Yeah.
So let's think about, I'm going to give you a second to think. I'm going to give my thoughts on it because I thought that was very convoluted. Okay. Up until he mentioned the John Cena match, because we've been all talking, he's got to put somebody over. Is it going to be new? Is it going to be old? I like this in that he can have one final amazing matchup. It does take two big matches and makes them into one. I understand that. But let's say it's LA Knight, because I actually really like that. And yes, we are completely biased. No question about it, right? But we've wanted LA Knight. He's here. We want him to go higher. What is going to get him over to the point where he is the undisputed world champion than to beat John Cena in John Cena's final match? LA Knight wins, gets the handshake from Cena. LA Knight leaves. John Cena gets his farewell. I kind of like it. Got to be worried that LA Knight, I don't think he's going to get booed in that situation. I think that's actually a pretty good idea. I'm not going to predict that for this week because they haven't done anything that extravagant in a while. But, Chris, let's go to you. What are your thoughts on that idea from the podcast?
I think that type of a War Games match is peak WWE creative right there. Yeah, give me two captains. All right, Captain, if you win, you are definitely in the tournament, but you are fighting the people on your team, right? That's perfect, all right? What happens when Jimmy and Jay or Braun and Bronson, right, get pitted against each other, both on the same team, get in the tournament? There's so many additional side stories to be built into that whole scenario as well, right?
Well, I will also say this. So let's say CM Punk is a captain and goes to Gunther. And Gunther's like, no, I don't want to be on your team. I don't want to be in this because I want to be in the tournament, and they're going to put me in the tournament no matter what. So I want to make sure I'm in that tournament. Or what if Braun Breaker's in the tournament and he goes to Roman Reigns, and they want Roman Reigns on their team because they want to win. So it can be some of those different matchups. Rod, what are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you on this as well.
This is insane. This is absolutely insane. It's a great by Sam Roberts there. Shout out to Sam. What a wonderful idea by him there. Are you guys going to be disappointed when you get the Wyatt 6 versus the MFTs for the War Games match at Survivor Series when you get that instead of this convoluted thing that you just cooked up? What are we supposed to do with the belt for 2 months while it's not around anybody's waist? Are we just bringing the white glove guys who worked with the Crown Jewel belt back? Are we calling those guys into overtime and they're going to take the WWE belt around everywhere? Are we going to take it to the WWE experience in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, put it on display for a while? What are we doing with the belt for the 2 months it takes us to get to John Cena's final match in Washington, D.C.? I love building LA Knight. I've been a proponent of John Cena having to go out on his back since we started talking about this. But my thought is, can't LA Knight get a lot of the rub that you talked about just for being John Cena's last opponent? Why do we have to have this whole convoluted belt nonsense attached to it? Can't he just be the guy that fights Cena last, beat him, get the handshake, and LA Knight get some rub?
Yeah, I think he can for sure on that. I wanted somebody like an LA Knight. I don't want it to be The Rock. Okay? I mean, if it's The Rock, it's fine. It's cool. But it's not really helping the next day. I want it to be someone who can, even if it's Gunther, who is a made person already, that's fine. I mean, Gunther can even lose that if they want him to. I want it to be something interesting, and I thought that was an interesting thought. And I went over it in about 10 seconds, and he went over it in about 30 minutes. But I don't know. I thought it was something different. I wanted to talk.
It'd be great, honestly. It would be great. Something more impressive for War Games than Wyatt 6 versus MFTs would be absolutely cool. And like guys having to pick their teams a little bit and be strategic about it. Come on, let's go. I'm all in for that. But you're smart enough to know this ain't happening.
Yeah. LA Knight and Braun Breaker had a really solid match, though. I was really impressed with that. Braun Breaker almost died when he slipped off the top rope. LA Knight did a great job of getting him in a headlock there to make sure, hey, you need a minute here, bud. I thought that was really good. LA Knight did lose clean, but also it advanced the storyline. You're not beating Braun Breaker right now.
Definitely not. And a clean win. Listen to me, Gunther got me fired up trying to talk Austrian there. But a clean win, a 1-2-3 pin, any match that ends that way, I'm excited for. So, yeah, this was a banger.
Yeah, did you like that one, Chris?
No, because LA Knight lost, but at least he didn't lose it with a roll-up.
That's good. Hey, here's something that you've never seen before. Two people fighting a number one contenders match. It's neither of them win, and everyone's like, "Oh, there's not a number one contender. I guess Dom doesn't have to." And then it's both of them are in a triple threat match at Saturday Night's Main Event.
Rusev needs to win this, Jimmy. Rusev needs to win this. He does.
But so does Penta, though, kind of.
No.
But no, Rusev needs to win it more. I would love to see Penta, but you are correct. Rusev does need to win this if they want to do anything with him moving forward.
That's absolutely the rub of it, right? If you want Penta to just, continue being, he can. He doesn't need the belt to continue being. He's got a dynamite intro. He's got the Zero Miedo, you know what I mean? He's got the upside down hand fives. Everybody loves everything about Penta. He's got the strut to Sade, making its way across social media all the time. We love Penta. Rusev has nothing except I'm an absolute ass beater. So if he gets in the ring with Penta and Dom and lays waste to both of them and then has the Intercontinental belt around his waist for a little while and we have a dude wearing folks out with the Intercontinental Championship, I'm for that way more than Dom continuing to do his dirty, dastardly, mustachioed, evil ways.
Chris, do you see this Rusev, if he is the Intercontinental title, to kind of mirror the Gunther Intercontinental title run and then going to the championship and things like that?
I think that's what they're hoping for, right? I think he has the same type of, no BS, beat you up type of demeanor that the Gunther with the Intercontinental belt had. It didn't matter who came in the ring. I'm just going to destroy you, right? I do think you could make a case that Rusev gets the Intercontinental belt here, and maybe then let Penta get the AAA belt off of Dom temporarily or something on one of their crossover shows. I know Dom is a god in the AAA, but
yeah, he is.
But maybe have Penta take it from him. Maybe Penta's a heel in AAA.
People love Penta as well, but yeah, Dom is like the number one babyface in Mexico right now, which is just crazy. Rod, neck tattoo thoughts?
Not for me. I personally would not be a neck tattoo guy, but right now it does seem if you decide to go all in and take the pain for getting the ink on your neck, you're going to get something. You know what I mean? Cody's up there. We all know that he's been the ultimate babyface. He's got the world's worst neck tattoo. Dom's getting a hell of a run. He just got himself one. So, let's go. Neck tattoos for everybody.
Yeah. I keep looking at the eyes of the mask instead of Dom's face. I don't know. Anyway, Nikki Bella and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez got knocked out, I think, twice in this. It was a bad night for performers. It really was. I think, again, not having house shows is hurting Nikki Bella too. It's hurting all these performers because they don't get the reps that they need. Chris, it didn't look pretty to me.
No, and unfortunately, I'm not smart enough to know who or if it's a combination of both where that blame lies, right? I will say that I think she's been on, 40 plus TV shows already or 40 televised matches already this year, Roxanne Perez, right? So she's had a lot of work on TV at least. But
oh, yeah, Roxanne Perez is really good. She's really good.
It's on Nikki.
Yeah,
though.
That's what I thought, but again, I'm not smart enough to put that blame there. But you can I could tell that it was issues, evidently. But I'm a big fan of Roxanne Perez. I do think she's good. But that match wasn't very exciting to watch at all.
You can look, but you can't touch.
What was exciting, Rod, is Sheamus and JD McDonough. Let me tell you. You just want guys to go in and have a good matchup. Those are two of the best right there. I enjoyed it. JD with the big win, Finn Balor getting involved there. They're going to get their tag team championship rematch next week, I believe, isn't it?
I guess, because apparently Finn Balor's not allowed to do anything other than wrestling tag team matches. It just doesn't make any sense what we're doing with Finn Balor. But JD with some intensity there. That was a little like a little mini Dragunov kind of run out of my guy there. I was like, okay, JD McDonough, I see you, brother. You usually just take hella pins on your back, but you showed up a little bit for that one. Congratulations.
Speaking of Dragunov, we're going to SmackDown real quick. He is continuing the U.S. Open Challenge, which we didn't think was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen, which is great. And our boy Karrion Kross is... Oh, wait, no, that was Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. Yikes, that was basically... I mean, Aleister Black still had his entrance, but Zelina definitely was part of the Scarlet portion of that. So that's interesting. I thought it was a really good match until, everything went haywire at the end.
Don't you think that has more to do with the fact that they don't have anything to do with Selena more than it does that they're just trying to rip Karrion Kross, Jimmy?
Probably, yeah, and putting them together makes sense. They have pretty good chemistry for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Speaking of good chemistry, Bailey, Lyra, and Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair had that main event. I thought that was a really good tag team match too. Listen, Women's tag teams can go, and I love it. Kabuki Warriors, who should be the champs. I think they're going to be the champs. I love everything about what they're doing in the women's division right now. I think it's really solid.
Charlotte can wrestle. All right. Charlotte can wrestle. I'm sorry.
Correct.
I've been singing her praises for years, and fans in the stands are just starting to come around to it because Ashley is showing through a little bit more. She is smiling. She's having fun. She's cracking jokes. She's not just a queen bitch rolling down to the ring, wasting everybody. She's still wasting everybody, but she's having a lot more fun doing it. Alexa Bliss just is amazing. The little things that she could pull off, that little sprite. And it was great, right? You have a Raw that seems a little bit lacking where they're like, hey, CM Punk, you go ahead and you run out of here, right? You come out and say something real quick at the beginning, and then we're going to let you run out of here. And a few of our other guys are gone. No Cody, no nothing, but we're going to still hold it down with a banger women's tag team match. This is awesome. You don't get that out of a lot of women's tag team matches.
Chris King.
I had to look up my exact quotation, but the other night I had texted Rod about watching a Raw, and I had said I needed to clarify because I hadn't watched the whole thing. I was like, and then see the greatest tag team ever defend their title again.
Nice.
And they get
That's
jumped.
what I like to hear.
Yeah, I love this tag team. They should not lose to the Kabuki Warriors.
I agree.
Well, they should, and they will.
What's the chain stuff on her face, Jimmy? What's the chain stuff? Why are we doing the chain thing?
I thought that was a millipede.
Yeah,
It's a
or whatever it
millipede.
is. Like,
I don't
what
know,
is
something different.
Is it so? It's not a shout out to
Something
like
different.
NPJ or something that I don't understand.
I don't think so. I don't know. It might be. She's a big comic book gamer type person, so maybe. I will say I did love the Asuka promo. That was a shot right at Bill Goldberg for saying some girl beat my streak.
Yeah.
It ain't real, guys. Everything, yeah. So I thought that was terrific. Saturday night's main event is going to be a very big main event. Right now, there's only 4 matches on the card. We have the women's championship match. We saw Jade Cargill turn heel against Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown, and that means you get a championship match. I think Jade Cargill is going to win this championship and then go on a Goldberg-esque streak and just kind of plow down a lot of people until maybe Bianca Belair comes back. Chris King, who you got?
Yeah, give me Jade. She needs some revenge. I think she got prematurely screwed out of that whole match. We know there were shenanigans going on with the referees and there's some shady stuff in the timekeepers area. I'm just saying there should be investigations going on, but give me Jade in this match. Tiffy time's over.
Rod, is it Tiffy time?
So you're telling me I already don't like Tiffany Stratton's presentation as a babyface champion, and she's going to get beaten by the evil, dastardly heel, and I'm going to be suffering through Tiffany Stratton's climb back up to the top. I'm going to have to be empathetic to her and care about her as a babyface I want to see achieve. Is that what you're telling me, Jimmy?
Probably.
Man, that stinks. That stinks. That really stinks.
Yeah.
I don't like Tiffany Stratton at all. Not at all. Not one iota. I don't like her voice. I don't like her promos. I don't like her wrestling moves. I don't like her absolute complete fake look of just everything's plastic and I have entirely too much makeup on. I don't like anything about Tiffany Stratton. I am not the least bit excited about the idea of the plucky, all the world is against this absolute beautiful statue picking herself up by her bootstraps and getting back to the top. I'm sorry. I feel no empathy for Tiffany Stratton.
Rod, could I interest you in a Tiffany Stratton is kind of angry and whiny and really becomes the over-the-top heel and goes somewhere else for a while and not goes after Jade? Can we do that?
Yes, I'm all for that. If she can do her like best Chelsea Green type impersonation while Chelsea is doing her thing with Ethan Page and NXT, which is fabulous, by the way, absolutely fabulous,
unbelievable.
Shout out to Thea Hale walking behind them and saying Joe Henry and Joe popping out of a trash can. Just great stuff out of Joe Henry and NXT. Continues. But see, I get sidetracked by Joe Henry easy, Jimmy. That's just me though.
That's like that's not the first Joe Henry comment we've had. It's the one on the podcast, but not in the text string. Next we have Chris, WWE Intercontinental Championship match, Rey Mysterio versus Penta versus Rusev. Who you got?
You mean Dom Mysterio, not Rey Mysterio, correct?
If Rey's in this match, that's a big time switch up.
Did I seriously say Rey Mysterio?
Oh, you did.
Yep.
I read Dominic Mysterio. I said it in my head, but apparently audibly I said Rey. A Mysterio will be facing Penta and Rusev. Who you got?
I'm going to say Dominic wins this. Dirty Dom is able to cheat the system again. He's going to beat Rusev sneakily and shadily somehow distract the ref and blame it on Penta. I don't know yet, but it's going to be genius, and Dom will walk away with both his belts again.
It's not going
All
to
right,
be
Rod, I'll
genius.
give you the next one.
It's not going to be genius. It's not going to be some sort of plan that nobody's ever heard of before. It's going to be El Grande Americano and are they his nephews? Are they his sons? His cousins? Like they're calling it the El Grande family, and they have 2 other names for the guys now. So I'm not entirely sure if I picked up on those exactly yet, but that's who's coming out to give Dom the victory, and I'm going to be angry about it because it should be Rusev Day. Let's go.
You know what? I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say Rusev pins Penta. I'll go Rusev pins Penta.
Earlier, you're telling everybody it's got to be Penta. Penta's the hot star. Now you're putting Penta on his back. Jimmy Jam. I never know what you're going to give me.
No, I said it. I want it to be Penta, but unlike Chris, I go with what I think is going to happen. Whatever, that's fine. Or Dominique, sorry. Or Ray, whoever. We have Undisputed WWE Championship match. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. Chris, how quickly are you going to say Drew McIntyre here?
Drew McIntyre.
Okay, there you go.
Belt on a WWE.
Do you honestly think he's going to win?
No one wants to see Cody with the belt anymore. Where's that story going? You have so many more interesting stories that you can get with Drew right away, whether it's leftovers with the Bloodline, with Roman, with whoever, right? CM Punk, if he doesn't get the belt, right? The heavyweight belt. You can do so much more with Drew than you can Cody. Cody needs a break, all right? We're done hearing his story. Rod's done hearing his story. We actually agree on this. Give it to Drew. Make that belt interesting again.
Would you rather have Drew McIntyre win the belt here or face John Cena and beat John Cena's final match?
Win the belt here.
Okay. Rod, who you got?
Chris, I guess I would say be careful what you wish for, because if your guy Drew wins the belt here, it's going to be the most nondescript run ever. That's going to take him through a couple of pay-per-views at the end of the year that nobody cares about. He's going to then lose it at the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber or whatever else they have in February, because there's no chance Drew McIntyre's walking into WrestleMania with the belt around his waist. So fine, you want to give Drew a garbage 2.5 month run, then give it to him. But other than that, Cody's winning.
He's getting the belt in front of a live crowd that he deserves. All right. It's going to be longer than 5 minutes. Okay. He deserves it. Put the belt on him.
Those thunderous Salt Lake City crowds that we've always heard so much about, right, Chris? That's who's going to give him the thunderous ovation that he deserves.
Chris, I would be with you if this was not on Peacock. Because this is still on Peacock. Remember, it's not even on NBC. It's just on Peacock. It's not on ESPN.
They're not showing it on NBC?
No, they took it off. No, it's just on Peacock now.
So that must mean
Really
they
not a
weren't
Saturday
getting good
night.
numbers then for Saturday night's main event. If NBC didn't want to keep it on NBC, because they still have the right to, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. So I think Cody's going to win for that reason. But again, and plus we already have maybe 1, if not 2, if not 3 championship changes. I don't think we're going to go all 4 championship changes because we have to have 1. So I think Cody Rhodes does win this one this time. We have the World Heavyweight Championship match between CM Punk and Jey Uso. I gotta think they're gonna go. Do they do that though? I don't know. So do they? This is what I'm talking it out here. Does Jimmy cause Jey the championship on purpose, on accident, or has this all been a ruse and Jimmy helps Jey win the championship against CM Punk? Any of those things can happen, which is why I will pick. I think Jey Uso's gonna win. I think Jey Uso's gonna win.
I do too. But
Okay.
I'm taking C. I'm taking C. Jimmy and Jay had a plan the whole time. It's not that these two are fighting. It's that we wanted to get him back up to the top of the mountain, and these two are going to be standing triumphant, much like they were the last time Jay won the belt. And the other reason I think that, Jimmy, is not because I'm anti-CM Punk. We all know that I've turned around on Phil. I'm a fan these days. I don't want to see Phil raising the championship this way in a nondescript match that was just thrown together after a battle royal on Peacock on Saturday night in Salt Lake City. I just don't want to see it. I can't believe I'm saying this. I have too much respect for the guy to have his WWE return championship belt be on a Saturday night's main event on Peacock, the 4th-rate streamer on a Saturday night in Salt Lake City. I'm sorry.
Rod has always been a CM Punk fan, always been a Bears fan, and that's
Loves
it.
baseball.
Loves baseball. Thank you, Chris. Is a big Tom Ricketts fan.
Right.
Chris, dude,
Right.
That's why you're here, man. I appreciate you. That's awesome. That's the joke, and I appreciate it. Chris, who you got?
None of the above. Now listen, I was prepared to come into this pod and complain that I don't like this match. I didn't want to see either one of them, let alone both of them, fight for this belt, right? I wanted my guys in here. I don't like either one of them, and I was going to complain. But Jimmy, you came to this pod and you gave me hope. You gave me life that there is a situation where we could walk out of this night with neither one of these gentlemen having the belt, and I use gentlemen very, very loosely. Walk out of this night in Utah with the belt. Like, I have hope now that this can happen where neither one of them get it.
How? How then? Both of you have brought this up now. What way do you want to see it end? Do you want to see it end with a Undertaker, Kane, like who actually has the pin type deal? We can't tell whose shoulder's actually down or who's got the pin. Do you want it to end with Solo bringing the MFTs out for absolutely no reason? Do you want Grayson Waller to come down from the top, Blue Blazer style? How do you want this thing to end?
I mean, I don't want it to end, but it's going to end Braun if that's the case. Braun will come down and do something to take both people out and not be able to wrestle anymore. 18 tsunamis each, something like that. That's what would happen, Chris.
I want to say, because this has to be a pinfall or submission, correct? Like, it's not I mean, so there's a whole host of reasons, and I don't think that situation, neither one should be able to win the belt via a disqualification of the other guy, right?
Double count
because they don't have champion rules.
Double count out. Jimmy,
I'm assuming that's what'll be the case.
Yep, you're right. Braun and Braun are going to come down, wear them out, throw them outside the ring, 10 count, double disqualification. Everybody's in a stupor in Salt Lake City, pissed off that they can't go get alcohol because it's after 9:30.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows Podcasting Network. In the ring, Jimmy, Chris, and Rod.
Salt Lake City, I'm sorry. I don't know why I just went after you so hard in the last 10 minutes of the pod, but it happened. I apologize.
Salt Lake City, what have they done to you?
Goodbye, Nick. Yeah.
Anti-jazz.
No doubt.
Or the Mammoth, right?
Well, at least
Mammoth?
Lori
You're
Market.
just
That's
mad
why
that Markkanen is on my